This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Welcome back to QAC TV, and today's video is my suicide story. If you have not done so already, make sure you hit that like button, click subscribe, and smash the notification bell so you never miss a video. I drop videos every single Sunday. Over the past 24 years of my life, I have been through a lot. And I know that there's a lot of people out there who has also been through a lot. A lot more than what I've been through and a lot less than what I've been through. But all the same, we've all been through a lot. Growing up, I've often heard that because I'm so young, there's no way I could have experienced life and that I could have ever been through anything. A lot of people don't know about a lot of the things that young people go through these days. I went through a series of bullying and depression and all types of things, and I go into very explicit detail in my most recent book, Becoming a Warrior, which I will link in the description box below. I would love if you guys check that out. But looking at me, I really don't look like what I've been through. Looking at a lot of people, they don't look like what they've been through either. So when I turned 22 years old, God placed it on my heart to write about the things that I've been through. I know I'm not the only young person who's been through depression or bullying or a lack of self-worth or self-esteem issues or a lack of confidence, not having friends, not really having family to turn to. I know I'm not the only one who's gone through it. And God wanted me to be the voice for those who don't have one. Today I'm going to be talking about my suicide story and why I tried to commit suicide twice. One was in high school, the other one was when I was fresh out of high school and just entering college. I actually did a year, I think, and I was in a very dark place. I was in, not a great headspace, and I've never had a sense of acceptance from anyone for a long time in my life. And I remember very vividly being picked on relentlessly in school. I was overweight. My hair wasn't really done. My glasses, I used to have broken glasses because we couldn't afford, me to get them fixed. I didn't have a dress code, if you will. I wasn't popular at all. In fact, I got picked on a lot, and it really shaped the way that I started to look at the world. So after battling that for years, when my mom got word that she was moving to Jacksonville, Florida, I decided to come with her. I came with her when I was 13 years old, and the second year that I was here, in my 9th grade year of school, I was set up by someone who I considered to be a best friend and was raped. With that happening and with everything else that was going on, I just felt so hopeless and worthless, and it was very hard and traumatic for me. When I entered the 10th or 11th grade at a new high school, because I had got kicked out of the high school that I went to in 9th grade, and the other half of that year I was attending another school that I finished at, and then for my 10th, 11th, and 12th grade year I moved to a different school. And at that school, I got really close with some people. However, I still just didn't feel wanted or accepted. I had a lot of personal issues at home, and I dealt with a period where I don't have baby pictures. I think I have like 2 or 3 of them, if I'm not mistaken, but any of my childhood pictures are with my brother. I didn't have like pictures to myself, and I used to always wonder why. There were things that were said to me about why I didn't have baby pictures, not from my parents, but from other people who were in my family, and I to this day, I couldn't repeat the things that they have said. It's in my book. It's in my book. However, I just don't really know how I feel about saying it on camera, to be honest. However, you know, with that and me not feeling really accepted in school and, you know, just not being a part of the cool crowd or what have you, I wanted to end my life. I got really close with a young lady, and I used to spend the night at her house all the time. I was always over there, and one day, it was a weekend that I was supposed to spend the night, and before I left the house, I wrote my mom a suicide letter, and I left it on my bed and left. They came and picked me up, and I left, and I told my mom goodbye, kissed her goodbye, and I honestly thought that that was the last time that I was going to see her. Genuinely thought this, you guys. Oh my gosh. Genuinely thought that that was the last time that I was going to see my mom. And I went to this young lady's house, and completely oblivious, as if my mom wasn't going to find the note, we made empanadas and we watched movies, and I was super convinced that that night I was going to take my own life while in the shower. And that was going to be it. Looking back, I can only imagine what that would have done to my mom, her and her parents, to find me in the shower like that. I was planning on slitting my wrists and bleeding out in the shower. And then I had another thought to just jam the knife right in my neck and just bleed out. I took a knife with me. I took my own knife. And I was going to do that. And before we could take a shower, we get a knock at the door. And it was my mom. And she comes in and she sits me down at the table. We don't tell them what's going on, but she sits me down at the table and she asked me about the note. I explained to her what was going on, and we ended up working it out, but it really costed my relationship with this young lady, because her mom, she didn't know what was going on, but her mom instantly thought that I was running away from my problems to her home. It was a bunch of miscommunication. However, it's resolved now. We're good friends still now, but we did stop being friends for years. We honestly just started really getting our relationship back on track this year, and that was years ago. I think it was like 4 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. I can't believe that I was in such a traumatic state that I was willing to do that at someone else's house. I was in a bad place, you guys. I was sad. I was hurt. I was completely just torn up in the head. And I was with my ex-fiance then. We got together in high school. I was in the 10th grade. He was in the 9th. I was 16. He was 15. And we had an altercation at my house one day. Years later, we had an altercation at my apartment, and it turned physical. And when he left, I decided I was going to then take my life again, because I was still so over all of the nonsense that was going on. I was smoking and drinking at the time, so I popped a bunch of pills, drunk a lot, smoked, went to bed, and prayed. I did not wake up. You know, do you know how destructive, what type of destructive mindset you have to be in? You have to be in such a destructive mindset to feel like the only way for you to get peace is to commit suicide and kill yourself. And I submit to anyone who is going through depression, hardship, hard time, suicidal thoughts, I decree and declare that those thoughts are removed from your head right now, and that those thoughts are cast down right now. We bind those up and cast them down before the Lord. I plead the blood of Jesus of all of you who are having those thoughts or those feelings or those emotions, and I call them removed right now from your mind. It is so dangerous and unhealthy, and I speak healing and restoration over each and every one of you who may be dealing with that right now. I do not take suicide attempts or thoughts or depression or different things like that as a joke. Bullying, I do not tolerate. I don't care how young or old you are. It's ridiculous what type of bullying is happening to our youth right now. And I see so many stories that are just so sad. I work in the medical field, and I remember we had two sisters that we saw at where I was working at. When I was working at primary care, we had two sisters that we would see. And one day we get a call that one of them passed away because she committed suicide, and no one saw it coming. We knew they were both on. One was on medication, one wasn't. The one who was on medication committed suicide. The one who was not on medication didn't. And they didn't even know. They went to the store, and she said she wanted to stay home. And when they got back, they found her hanging from her ceiling. I've had friends that I've went to school with commit suicide because they were depressed and no one knew it, or no one took them seriously. And I submit to anyone out there who is battling that to call the suicide prevention hotline. I will link the number in the description box below. Better yet, I'm going to put it right here at the bottom of my video so that you can see it and call. Suicide is no joke. It's not funny. Kids who bully in schools that drive kids to commit suicide is not okay. And I pray that faculty, staff take it more seriously, and I pray that those who are actually going through it really do call to get help or ask for help. And I pray that parents take them seriously. So I submit to anyone out there battling with any type of depression, suicide, mental illness, bullying, whatever you're going through, I want you to send me an email at bookingwooten@gmail.com. That's BOOKINGWOOTEN, the letter D, @gmail.com. And I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you. I'm an advocate for the youth. I'm a supporter of the youth, and we are the future. That is my suicide story. I'm so thankful that I'm still here. I send my condolence to any family that has lost someone on the count of suicide. I speak comfort over you right now, whether it happened yesterday, years ago, whenever it happened. I speak comfort over you right now, and that God will continue to wrap his arms around you all so that you have peace in your heart and that you know that it's not your fault. We got to do better, you guys. We got to do better. That's all for this video today. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them in the comment box below. Send me an email if that's you, if what I said resonated with you, and let's talk. I love you all. I pray you subscribe to the QAct TV family, so you can get some encouragement and be uplifted. I will see you all in my next video next Sunday. Peace.